What's good, world? I might be back with another reaction video. Appreciate everybody. Make sure if you're new, you hit that subscribe button. If you ain't new, you get somebody else to subscribe. Get the channel popping. I gotta pull up and pop you. Obviously, I gotta react to this. Obviously, I gotta talk my little bit of shit. Say the truth, say the whatever. I'm gonna be real. This whole back and forth between Dana White and Eddie Hearn is really starting to show their true colors. And it's just, like, in general, what I mean by that is just funny that Dana White would drop so much money on Conor Benn, knowing that Conor Benn is literally, he lost to Eubank, and he's gonna come back. He beat Eubank, but he's gonna come back and fight Prograis or whatever the fuck, and that fight not even worth $15 million. So basically, he went out of his way to overpay one of Eddie Hearn's top fighters, to basically just take him away from Eddie, and then he's gonna overpay him for one fight. Smooth. I understood that. But what people don't understand, I feel like, is that Dana White went out of his way to do this. He paid him just to be a dickhead. The difference is Eddie Hearn went out of his way. And what he's going to do is there's a big difference. He's going to try to go, and he's going to try to use Tom Aspinall as a way into the UFC. And he's going to try to use it as a way to get the UFC fighters more money, which I don't disagree with at all. Like, if we can get them more money, maybe they'll fucking come to fight. But I don't know. They'll do better or some shit, hopefully. Maybe they'll try harder. Anyways, that part is a whole nother subject that we'll talk about. Obviously, I hope that they get paid what they deserve. They shouldn't be on one of the biggest platforms. Somebody who's signing $7 billion deals and not be able to make more money. On the other side of it, he's using Tom Aspinall, didn't even get to defend his belt, really. Got poked in the eye, coming back off eye surgeries, and all these things to basically try to get back at Dana. But in reality, this is what he's doing. And if you guys can't see this, I don't know what to tell you. One, when Dana White signed Conor Benn, that shit broke the internet for a little second. Oh shit, the boxing where everybody got a little bit crazy. They were like, oh shit, everything went crazy. When Eddie signed Aspinall, it was like nobody really gives a fuck because you can't sign Tom Aspinall. He still signed to the UFC. So technically you're just what? Technically you're just a manager, and the only thing you're going to be doing is what his manager was already doing, and is negotiating fights. And if you try to out-negotiate yourself, you know what's going to happen is you're going to end up on the same fucking boat Francis Ngannou was on. They'll just put you on the show. Again, I truly, deep down, feel that the UFC shouldn't just go willy-nilly just start paying people $20 million, $50 million, all these fucking crazy numbers like everybody just be thinking that we can go to. Maybe we should have $1 million fight night bonuses and $1 million knockouts the other night and shit like that. That will make people fight more and fight to actually go for finishes and shit like that. But to start paying fighters contracts more, I feel like it's gonna affect the sport in a way that people won't understand, because that's what happened to boxing, and that's why nobody's fighting anybody, because if you're not getting signed for the right amount of money, you're not gonna come out here and fight them. And then if you're getting paid too much, you're gonna sign the fight knowing that you probably can't beat this person, and then you're not gonna try as hard, and you're gonna put on a shitty performance, because truthfully, that's what these fighters do. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like they don't, because I've watched this shit happen for years and years. They don't go and get better and start trying harder. No, we lose them. Obviously, this is the fight game. So what I wanted to say was this: Dana breaks the internet, signing Conor Benn, but Eddie Hearn sees that shit's not, that shit's not shaking the room like it should, and everybody's confused on what this situation could mean. Bro, all that this shit means is that Eddie Hearn worked his way into the UFC, and instead of paying Tom Aspinall, he's going to pay him with his name and the hype that he has against Dana. He's going to say he's going to try to get him more money, but in reality, Eddie Hearn is going to be getting paid from Tom, because Tom's going to have to pay him a percentage of whatever the fuck, since he's his manager. But the only difference is that Eddie Hearn is also one of the biggest promoters, so he'll be able to promote him on the side, get him some little bit of money. And honestly, I truthfully think that Eddie Hearn knows what he's doing, and he's trying to build him hype for when he's done the UFC. And if you guys know what I'm saying, so whatever, fighters have a certain amount of fights on a contract, they were already calling him washed up and all these things all because of his eyes. Eddie Hearn sees 2-3 fights left on the fucking, on the card, signs the right deals, gets him into boxing after, could sign a $20 million. Well, things get a little crazy when you're Eddie. But the difference is that Dana went out of his way to stomp on Eddie's, sport. Not sport. He didn't stomp on the sport, but he went out of his way to stomp on Eddie Hearn, just him specifically, really, by signing Conor Benn and overpaying him and then giving him a shitty fight. This is going to be Eddie Hearn having to actually fucking go out of his way to hardball and try to get real contracts signed to get real overpaid fights because Tom Aspinall is not worth what you think he's worth. The same thing with Conor Benn, but the difference is Tom signed a contract already. Tom has already agreed to a contract in which he's going to fight. So whatever's left on his contract, he can fight it out, and the UFC can't get rid of him. This is a bigger picture than what it looks like. And I feel like it's going to be all just to try to get the UFC fighters more money. But I feel like Eddie Hearn doesn't realize what he signed up for, because what he's going to try to push is going to be a big fight against the sport, the business of it. And I'm not going to say he can't do it. Kind of hope that he's able to just make a movement and get out. Maybe he don't overstay his welcome. But let's be real. This whole thing doesn't make any difference. It's not like they even have their managers at the press conferences and shit. Like, this isn't boxing. They don't bring their promoters and their managers to the press. Like, Dana White's never going to have to see this dude. And Dana White doesn't make matchmaking and shit like that no more. So Dana White's never going to have to sign deals with Eddie Hearn. Y'all have to understand that. He literally just said this. So, this is all a get-back situation where Eddie Hearn puts himself in a situation where he's going to have to overwork himself to prove a point. Now, y'all tell me what you think if you think I'm wrong. Eddie Hearn just put himself in a tougher position. He's going to be fighting a lot. Again, hopefully for a good cause, which we all agree. But he knows it. He knows that him signing Tom was not as big as he thought it was. And the reason why he knows that, and the reason why I know that he knows that, is because, bro, if you post it, right? Dana White, this is the thing people say. People complain about Dana White, say he doesn't promote well, he doesn't do this, he does the lives, and they hate it. But Dana White basically posted the tiniest fucking 15-second clip of him signing Conor Benn. Bam, that shit broke the fucking internet. Eddie Hearn posted it, snippets, has to fucking do a build-up for it, had a trailer, and then he does a giant press conference, invites all the best fucking media people, Ariel Helwani, all the best fucking... You know what I'm saying? And then he tries to make it seem like it's bigger than what it is. When people truly, like, you're not doing nothing, bro. I don't see it. He's gonna do something. He's probably gonna get the UFC fighters another better percentage, and then he's gonna be out of the sport. I can almost guarantee it. And then he's gonna go on to sign other guys. There's no money in this for the managers. Most UFC fighters don't even want managers no more. Just like these boxers, they don't even want to sign to promotions if they could build a bigger name for themselves than the promotion. Y'all let me know what you think. If you ask me, it's just a whole big game that Dana ends up winning in the end, because now he doesn't control matchmaker or nothing like that. And now Eddie's going to have to work 10 times harder to try to get every UFC fighter more money while he does that for Tom and tries to get Tom on the right track, hoping that Tom doesn't get poked in the eye. Sheesh. Y'all let me know. I'm out here. Sheesh.